So that first 2 years, you're really giving up a lot of your wealth. Whereas you can get a car that's a couple of years old and still drive something really nice and not pay an insane amount of money. So anyway, with that being said, let me give you some more information about this young lady. So we're talking about this woman who's paying $7,600 a month in rent. Well, imagine if she invested that same amount of money in the stock market. Let's say that she took that money, put it into the S&P 500, and randomly picked stocks. Let's assume she knows nothing about investing. All she does is just go in and every day cover her eyes and pick some stock in the S&P 500. Well, do you know that based on history, you can't predict the future, but based on history, that $7,600 a month would be $500,000, $588,521.75 in generational wealth in just 5 years. In just 5 years, you're talking about over $500,000 in generational wealth. After 10 years, that grows to 1.5 million. After 20 years, it becomes $5.7 million. After 30 years, you're talking about $17 million. After 40 years, you're up to $48 million. So what this means is that when you're making that kind of money, when you're making the kind of money that allows you to have the luxury of paying $7,600 a month in rent, you've got a tremendous opportunity to make sure that your kids, grandkids, great-grandkids, and grandkids' are all multimillionaires. You have a massive opportunity to jump through the economic wormhole of literally changing every generational curse that's ever plagued you and your family for the last 200 or 300 years. You have an opportunity to elevate in ways that you're never going to elevate by voting for the Democrat or Republican parties. Ain't no Democrat, ain't no Republican going to put 5, 10, $20 million in wealth in your family, but you can do that. So my point is to say that as much as I have no problem with her paying rent, I mean, it's her business, it's her money. But just understand that when you're paying money to the landlord, especially on that level, what you're doing is your family's not necessarily getting rich because you're making the landlord's family rich. Your kids may not have what they need because you're making sure the landlord's kids have what they need. You may not have any as much to pass to your descendants because you're making sure the landlord is able to pass a massive amount of generational wealth to their descendants. Give me a yes if you understand this. Let me know if you get what I'm saying. Let me know if you understand why this concerns me when I see this and I see sort of paying high amounts of rent as some sort of a flex. I see young ladies that will date a man because he's got some apartment that he's paying $3,000 a month for or whatever. And instead of sort of stopping and pausing and saying, okay, why are we paying $3,000 a month in rent? Because that's enough money to pay a mortgage. I pay, that $7,600 number. That's not a number that's foreign to me. I probably pay more than that every month, but I pay that in mortgages on property. I don't pay that much in rent because that is giving money away. So again, I'm not making fun of her at all. I have to keep repeating that because I'm not out here trying to hate on somebody for what they're doing with their money. And for all I know, she can own 1,000 properties and be making all kinds of wealth. And God bless her for that. And I want to make that clear because if it gets back to it, I don't want it to, for people to say, oh, Dr. Boyce was hating on the black lady. No, that's not it. It's me simply saying, this is a great opportunity to talk about just how much generational wealth we can build if we have our mind right. So anyway, before I move on, do me a favor. I'm going to play the video one more time because I got a couple more things I want to say about this. But before I do that, I want to let you guys know I do have a podcast on Spotify. Actually, there's two of them. If you look up my name, you'll find at least two. One is called the Dr. Boyce Breakdown. The other one's called Dr. Boyce Daily Stock Market. And that's where I just sort of give you daily updates on the stock market. Also, I wanted to mention, if you're looking for investment opportunities, cybersecurity is a growing field.